Hey guys, just driving through downtown West Palm Beach here, and I figure I'd take you on a ride with me. It's starting to warm up. It's in the mid 70s here. Next couple days, I'll get back to the 80s. In the winter in New Jersey, in the winter in Florida, it'll be cold for a couple days, and then it'll go back into the 70s and 80s. Florida is the warmest state in America on average in the winter. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, right? I remember researching that when I was contemplating moving out of New Jersey and where to go. I mean, I looked at Arizona, I looked at South California, I looked at Southern Cal, Arizona, Texas, and I was trying to figure out what state is the hottest. And I just Googled it. Like most things in life, right? You Google the answer. And I Googled what's the warmest state in America in the winter. And it said Florida. Not Texas, not Arizona, not Southern California. The warmest state on average in America in the winter is Florida. And that's why people flock here during the winter months, which let's just say December through April is the height of tourism season. And people travel from all over the country and all over the world. I know we're still, as I make this in the kind of the middle of a pandemic, the coronavirus, but the reason that Florida is such a big hub for tourism is because of the weather in the winter. And so if you're someone that does not like cold weather, if you like it hot, for me, like Arizona is like, parts of Arizona in the winter are like 50s. That's their high. And that's also why I didn't go to North Florida. North Florida is not as warm as South Florida. See, for me, I like it hot. I like it sunny. Now, it is true that Arizona has more days of sun than Florida, even though Florida is a sunshine state. But Florida, again, is a tropical environment, not a desert. And that's why, again, I like Florida over Arizona or that type of environment. But look, the warmest state in the winter is Florida, bottom line. And so, if you're kind of debating some of the southern states in America, maybe where to retire, where to move from, that's something that you really have to consider. Because, if you're going to be somewhere in, again, January, February, March, and the highs are only going to be in the 50s, maybe 60s, does that inspire you? That doesn't inspire me. There may be a few days in South Florida where there's a cold front and it's in the 60s, maybe even 50s, very rare. But then the next week it's back to the 70s and 80s. See, for me, the 70s and 80s as a high is the lowest I kind of want to be on average. Okay. And now some people, they want it colder. I don't want 4 seasons. I don't want cold days. That's not my thing. So, that was a big determining factor on where I started to focus on where I was going to relocate. Like I looked at Arizona, I looked at Arizona and I said 2 things. One is it's not that warm in the winter, not warmer than Florida. And 2 is it's a desert. I want to be by the ocean. So that eliminated that. I looked at Southern California, but it's like what they call like a Mediterranean climate. Meaning like it's like mild sauce. That's the best way to explain it. It's not hot sauce. Florida's hot Caribbean sauce, and that's what I like. Okay, so to me, it's like it's a different vibe. You know what I mean? So I think you got to know your personality. Just like a animal in the wild, like an iguana is going to be able to live in South Florida. An iguana probably not going to be able to live in California or Texas, right? So. It's like there's different wildlife in these different states because of different weather. And you kind of got to figure out, you as an individual, what type of weather do you thrive in? I thrive in hot, sunny, I like to sweat, man. See, some people don't like to sweat, man. It's like in the winter in Florida, there may be a few days or a few weeks that I don't sweat because the humidity is really low. Or it's definitely not like the humidity in the summer in Florida. But I like humidity. I like moisture. See, some people like that dry heat. To me, it's like cracked, ashy skin. I don't know why you would like dry heat, but some people like dry heat. I like wet and moist, guys. Okay, very wet, very moist. Okay. So, that's, those are my thoughts, that, look, man, if like I always say, like people move or they retire to North Carolina or South Carolina because they're too apathetic to really go all the way south to Florida and commit to hot weather. Like North Carolina and South Carolina, they're like for, again, just like that mediocre, mild weather. And it gets cold in definitely North Carolina, South Carolina in winter. Oh, it's a disaster. And nah. Florida for the win. In my opinion, do what you want. Because I want it hot, I want it juicy, I want it Caribbean, okay? I want it living a vida loca. Now, some of you guys and girls, you're not at that mindset. You're not that extreme. You're mild sauce, and that's okay. This is what makes the world go round. And because that's all the world is doing, guys. All the Earth is doing is orbiting around the sun. Okay, so it's just that Florida is closer to the equator. It's at sea level, so you're getting a higher level of heat and sun. See, like in other states with other elevation, you're barely getting any sun. Like Vermont, Colorado. I don't know. It's not for me, man. So, what is for you? What inspires you? Right? These are the questions of your life. A lot of the questions of your life, they're not on the SAT. The questions of your life are in your soul, okay? And only you have the answer key because only you have your individual fingerprint. Your mother does not have the same fingerprint as you. Your father does not have the same fingerprint as you. Your child does not have the same fingerprint as you. And that's why it's very important when you start making adult decisions, you do it because it's what you want to do. Because there's a reason that you were individually designed with a different fingerprint. You know what makes yourself tick. And if you don't know, you have to figure that out. It's like that's something your parents or your child or your lover, they can't answer. And so you got to kind of go on that journey of discovery, self-discovery, self-exploration. And, one of those keys is unlocking the weather that makes you tick. See, your mom may like 4 seasons. She may like the wintertime and watching Hallmark movies of people falling in love by the ice skating rink, So, but what do you like? What inspires you? And are you willing to walk a level of your journey alone? See, I think some people are unwilling to walk a level of their journey alone. Why? Because it's scary, and I felt it. It's very scary. Okay? And so, it's a tough thing, man, to unlock the next level of your life through pushing past fear and doubt. You have to take wisdom with you. You have to do research. Obviously, again, you have to keep a job. You have to keep your sanity. Everyone has different responsibilities and different abilities. But you have to give some serious thought to your life, okay? And to the weather, to the location, to what you want to accomplish, to your main hustle, to your side hustle, to your relationships, to your routine, to your workout schedule. Everything has got to be somewhat, there's got to be a focus to where you're going, man. Because if you just drift in life, man, look, I'm a nomad, so I understand like everyone who wanders not lost. But I'm talking about you still got to have a routine. You still got to have an aim. You still got to have a focus. You can't just be, like just letting the wind kind of like just pull you anyway. So there's a reason people look at the 10-day forecast because it gives them some insight on what to expect and helps mitigate risk. Because in life, there is no guarantees. All there is risk management. And you'd be a fool not to at least consider the level of risk that you take. Now, you can do the opposite and take no risk and just stay in the town you grew up in, stay in the job you always knew. And that would also be foolish. Now, but again, I think the best time to get a job is when you have a job. Secure another job before you leave your current job. Don't buy a second home until you sold your first home. Mitigate your risk, but take risk. See what I'm saying? And learn about, the statistics. You don't want to move to Arizona only to find out that the winters are cold and windy in a desert. Okay. Life is so much more than a Zillow estimate. It's your fingerprint, it's your passion, it's your motivation, it's your individuality. Okay, and that's what you have to discover on the journey to your best life. One day at a time, one step at a time. You know, faith is taking the first step in wisdom, and then the next step will be revealed to you. Okay? See you in the next video. If you'd like to support the channel, click the blue join button. Thank you to all my members. Peace.